the jargon of the day. Somehow Traven tells me we've never done this jargon term before, and shame on me that we've never done this before, but today's a great day to do this jargon term for the first time. When we do the jargon of the day, we give you the word phrase acronym, and we give you the actual definition, often from a dictionary, then or some textbook, and then we give you a working definition, and we hope that somehow you'll be able to put it together in a way that you can understand. So today's jargon term, are you ready for this? The one that we haven't done before, which is crazy because we talk about this all the time on the show, but just never really went so far as defining it, is self-advocate. And this is a very important term. So let's first look at our actual definition of self-advocate. What is a self-advocate? And, because dictionaries are so much fun. The actual definition for self-advocate is an individual engaged in self-advocacy. Well, that cleared it up, right? So let's look at what is the definition of self-advocacy. And let me tell you, I looked this up in a lot of different dictionaries, and I rejected a lot of them because they were ableist in their definition. But I found one, the Oxford definition, that I kind of liked, and it was the action of representing oneself or one's views or interests. Because a lot of the other definitions said speaking up for oneself, and I sort of hated that. And some of them said a person with a handicap speaking up for themselves. And I was like, well, that's a narrow ableist view of that, right? Oxford, the action of representing oneself or one's views or interests. How fabulous is that? But let's take a look at what our working definition for self-advocate is. What is our working definition? People we should listen to, and a status we should be working towards for all individuals. So here's the thing about this is that, when a child is on the spectrum, they don't, let's just take all children. All children don't get to stand before Congress and testify, right? They don't get to say, hey, I don't like this. I don't want this. As they get older, a typically developing child will get to the point where they can say that. But sometimes folks on the autism spectrum, children on the autism spectrum, have difficulty. That's a challenge for them. Even to be able to say no is a challenge for them. And for some, it's even with a great deal of support, vocally saying no is not going to be where they end up, right? But that doesn't mean that they can't verbalize no. And by that, I mean verbal behavior. But that sometimes has to be taught. So I always love it when I meet a wonderful self-advocate, someone who is a teenager or an adult who has the ability to convey to other people through lots of different methods their point of view, right? Going back to our definition. And I love that group of people is very, very defensive about children who don't have the ability to speak up for themselves. I think that sometimes this is the crossroad where there can be misunderstandings between self-advocates and parents as we try to come together to make decisions that are right for children that are on the autism spectrum. I think it's essential as parents that we listen to the self-advocates. I also beg self-advocates to listen to parents and caregivers when we say what we're fighting for is for our children to be like you, to have the ability to represent their own point of view. I think I can speak for pretty much every parent of every child that I've ever met on the spectrum and say that is our fondest wish, for our children to be like you. And we aren't going to get it 100% of the time right, because that's just not in the cards. But everything that we're trying to do is to get our children so that they can be what you are, someone who is sharing their point of view. That's our motive. There it is, naked and unashamed. Parker has said self-advocacy is hard work. I've been doing it for a while. And I say amen to that, Parker. And let me just say, on behalf of myself and my family and a lot of parents that I know, we need to do a better job of listening. So, because it shouldn't have to be as hard as it is. It shouldn't have to be. And we need to be better allies to help you on your road to self-advocacy. Okay. I love Kimberly says, I've always been my son's advocate and I had to fight for his education and anything for him. And that's a lot of caregivers' stories, right? But I'll bet, Kimberly, if you had the opportunity to make it so that your son had the ability to do that for himself, wouldn't that be a thing devoutly to be wished? And she says, I'm slowly teaching him to stand up for himself. Amen to that. Amen to that. Thanks for watching Autism Live. If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.